Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Wednesday yesterday. Today is Thursday, September 5th, 2024, and it is a day B. Before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Thank you. You can go ahead and take a seat. I am so happy that you guys are here in school once again, and I always say it, but I always mean it. The fact that you showed up to school makes my day. This is why school exists, is to have you. And you showing up is just a present. It's a gift to me. It makes me excited for today. It makes me want to be the best principal I can be for today. Okay? And I hope that today you guys think about yourselves and how much you mean to people like us. How much you mean to people who love you too at home, and how much you mean to your friends, and how much you should mean to yourself. You're worth it. And in order for all of us to really respect and honor how much every other student at our school is worth it, there are some expectations. We've got three rules: respect, responsibility, and readiness. Number one, be respectful, right? Sometimes there are times when you have to do things you don't want to do. Your teacher might ask you to do something that's not your favorite thing to do, but you still listen and you still give it a shot and you try your best. That's respect. Listening to your teachers, listening to your friends. And yes, I'll always go back to this. You deserve to be respected too. When it's your turn to talk, yes, even Mr. Lin need to stop and listen to you. We need to give you that time. So when it comes to respect, not only do we expect you to give it, we expect you to actually expect it back to you, right? Your teachers you should expect your teachers to talk to you with respect. That doesn't mean that they won't call you out. And there are going to be moments where students might make might frustrate a teacher. Showing frustration doesn't mean you're being disrespectful. Honoring who you are and the fact that it's really important that you're part of our school, that's respect. And also being responsible. Be responsible with things that you can control. Now, this is something that oftentimes gets talked about in things that you should do. You should take care of your book bag. You should take care of your homework, making sure that you're responsible enough to do your homework. But there are also responsible things that we don't do. And here's a great example. I spent some time in a fourth grade class yesterday, and it just so happened that there was a student that was causing other students to pay attention to him. And, nothing wrong with what the other student was doing, but one of the things that I noticed was that a lot of kids chose to ignore. And yes, when we think about ignoring, we think of kids being mean, like maybe you want to hang out with a group of friends, but they've ignored you. That doesn't feel good. That's not a good thing. I'm not talking about that kind of ignoring. What I am talking about is that sometimes there are moments throughout the day where you might have a friend or a classmate or a student in school who's creating a ruckus or creating something that draws your attention. It's okay to look over and see what's going on at first, but when you look at your teacher after that, maybe your teacher just wants to keep moving along, wants to keep moving along with teaching, wants to keep moving along with sharing what he or she has planned for the day to share with you. And by ignoring that student and giving that attention back to the teacher, that's a sign of responsibility. It's actually hard to do, right? Sometimes when a kid yells out, you might want to tell them to hush it or be quiet. Well, sometimes the teacher doesn't need you to do that. Sometimes it's just good enough and respectful and responsible for you to just ignore the student and just pay attention to the teacher. Yes, I want you to pay attention to your friends. I want you to pay attention to your classmates so you can take good care of them. But there are going to be times where maybe the better thing to do is just not pay any attention to it and pay attention to what we are really here in school for, right? Being kind to each other. Pay attention to that. Being generous. Pay attention to that. Being encouraging. Well, pay attention to that. Being a good learner. Pay attention to your teacher. Okay, that's responsibility. Last but not least, show that you're ready. And I always go back to this. There are many versions of us. There's the angry Mr. Lin. There's the frustrated Mr. Lin. There's the happy Mr. Lin. There's the kind Mr. Lin. There's the best versions and the worst versions of ourselves. Think about yourself. What's the best version of yourself? and be ready to show that with the world. All right, no major special announcements. Just a special reminder that summer reading packets, make sure you turn those in by next Friday. And when you do, make sure you put your names on it. Our Codebreaker game has already kicked off, and I see some people are already beginning to get started with decoding the ASL, the American Sign Language codes. So that's really cool to see. I also noticed that we have a couple new students, and I'm seeing a lot of great kindness. You don't have to be a safety patrol person. You don't even have to be a sixth grader or a fifth grader. You can be a brand new kindergarten student, and you're never too old to be kind and welcoming. And I see a lot of great, kind, and welcoming sides to you. So I want you to keep it up. All right, so I'm going to wrap up with this. If nobody else has told you this, I want you to hear from somebody who means it, and that is, I love you, I care about you, I'm here to encourage you, but I shouldn't be the only one in this school. I want you to also look around, find your teacher, because your teacher, I guarantee you, loves, cares, and encourages you, and your best friends, the friends who are worth being friends, they're there to love you, care about you, and to encourage you. So what do we do with that? Well, we give it back. We pay it forward. If I get the love, care, and encouragement from somebody, I'm going to turn to the next person, and I'm going to give that love, care, and encouragement back. All right? All right. Without further ado, I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. I like you just the way you are. I like you just the way you are. I am still working on it. I hope you are too. Spread that message too. I can't wait to see you guys around.